Welcome. Sorry I'm a little bit late after 14.4, or after 14.3 rather. I had a week where I wasn't feeling too hot. Now that kind of stuff happens. I think I was fighting off some kind of infection, but it could have been anything. We'll call it summertime sadness. Who knows? It's only spring. Also in Korea, there's all this yellow dust that comes over from the Gobi Desert. Some people say China, Mongolia. It doesn't really matter, but there's yellow dust here, and it's super fine. It's why you see everybody in Korea wearing those masks sometimes. I think the particles are too fine for the mask to really do anything, but if putting a filter on a cigarette you think is going to help you, go nuts. Yes, in this analogy, the air of Seoul is the cigarette. So, 14.4 was handstand push-ups and heavy cleans. I'm not even going to break down the rep scheme because this is how I felt about 14.4. Dun, 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 dun. That's the sad music from Charlie Brown. I don't know how to do video editing stuff, so I can't edit that in. But I'm really good at humming it, so I think you get the idea. Now, the handstand push-ups were never in the open, and I did not plan for that. My God, what a mistake. What a mistake. Handstand push-ups are probably my weakest movement aside from left-legged pistols, and my God, if that's in this week, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. So, handstand push-ups are a problem for me for a couple of reasons, right? First, I played rugby for 3 years and I was second row, so my shoulders are mostly garbage. As a consequence, I don't train them that much. I'm going to try and dedicate this year to fixing that. I'm going to try and hit some kettlebell presses a lot. I'm going to work on my jerk, my strict press, handstand push-up, and I'm going to do a lot of supple leopard reading to try and figure out how to get rid of some of the gristle that I have in here and provide some healthy tissue. I have a seminar coming up with Carl Powley that hopefully he'll be able to help me with some of that stuff too. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, the cleans were pretty easy at 185 pounds. My max cleans around 240, 245, so I had no problem there. The problem was getting to the cleans. I also haven't trained them in a long time, so I didn't know how to kip very well. So it was all strict press that I'm not very good at to begin with. And you had to do a lot of handstand push-ups before you could even get to the cleans. So I finished this one up with 15 reps. It was kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you, but that's what it is. And if I compare myself to the Koreans busting them out in there, that's okay. Doesn't feel amazing, but if I think about last year when I had to do them from the box and scale them, and the fact that I can do strict RX now, that's a pretty good feeling. And this time next year, after I've been doing CrossFit for 2 years and change, coming up on 3 years, I think I'll be doing much better, much better. So 2015 is going to be the year of the shoulders. 2014 I'm going to call the year of the hips. I greatly increased my hip mobility, my hip flexibility, and 2015 is going to be a lot of shoulder work. So boys and girls, you're going to hear me talk a lot about supple leopard coming up. You're going to hear me maybe scream a little bit under a foam roller and a lacrosse ball. And maybe I'll do a couple of videos wrapped up in voodoo floss. Isn't that going to be fun? But I'm going to try and crank these out a little bit more. Wasn't feeling too hot, I already told you that, so this one's a little bit late. But it's up now, and I'll try and make the other ones a little bit more on time. Word for the future. Open's almost over, so the training is going to change up. I'm not as strong as I want to be. If you look at the CrossFit weightlifting chart, right, or weight training chart even, it tells you where you should be for intermediate, advanced, and elite numbers. I'm usually between intermediate and advanced for my body weight. I need to jack my strength numbers up. My squat's around 365, my deadlift's 415, bench is around 250, right? Clean and jerk is around 235. So what I'd like to do is jack all those numbers up pretty heavily this year. So I think I'll commit to a powerlifting routine for maybe 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, I'm sorry, maybe 12 weeks, around 3 months, and work in some CrossFit stuff on my days off, right? we'll see how it works out. But this year is going to be a little bit of powerlifting, a little bit of hypertrophy training, and a lot of practice with my gymnastics movements. And I'm also going to have to get rid of my shoulder gristle and try and improve my flexibility. Maybe I'll be able to extend my legs all the way from when I'm doing hamstring stretches. Like the L-sits, my God, that's a nightmare on my hamstrings. All right, but there we have it, our 15.4 video. You can watch me fail and suffer. In this workout, I am a wave, and 14.4 is a cliff, and I bash myself against the cliff and break myself over and over. If you want to do CrossFit, you gotta love to suffer, and that's my only talent, my prolonged ability to suffer. Tune in